have drums, brass bass or sousaphone and piano, giving us our rhythmic lilt. By the late 1920s, double bass playing and double basses themselves in jazz had got a bit more technically advanced, and so the softer sound of the double bass playing the rhythm rather than the brass one took over thusly. There we go, you see. A little bit more bounce, it's just a little bit kind of swingier. With the advent of Count Basie's band in the middle 1930s, he had a bass player called Walter Page who took the two notes in the bar and repeated them, giving you two pairs of notes in every bar. And at about this time, the piano player stopped marking time for the bass player, as there was so much more going on, and like Count Basie would, punctuated the bass line rather than reinforced it. And this is Count Basie's early rhythm sound. 2 or 3 notches now ahead of the 1920s rhythm section, but you can hear exactly its heritage. So, here we are, it's the mid-30s. This is the kind of rhythm section you'd hear in Basie's band, you'd hear playing behind Artie Shaw, Benny Goodman, all the great dance bands of the time. This is a late 1930s dance groove. Along comes 1940, and in Duke Ellington's band, a young double bass player called Jimmy Blanton was about to revolutionise the whole thing. While the bass is swinging in 4, it's repeating its notes, as you can hear. Jimmy Blanton, with his extended classical technique, would, rather than play repeated notes, play notes of a scale one at a time, giving us the modern sounding bass walk. There you go. Bass playing in jazz has remained pretty much the same ever since. Blanton would occasionally put skip beats and triplets in to complicate the bass line. Yeah. Ray Brown followed on, and that's kind of how the double bass has remained in this kind of jazz ever since, from 1940. Kenny Clarke was the first drummer who entirely took the main drum rhythm off the hi-hat and put it on the ride cymbal. There we go. You can all hear the difference. Where it really gets into modernism is when Kenny Clarke further took the drum part and started making the drum part irregular, putting bombs in on the bass drum and adding hits on the snare drum. So we have this disjointed effect coming from the drums and the piano. So now we have a rhythm section playing in the modern way in 1945, about 8 steps removed from the one in 1929. But of course, with this rhythmic flexibility, I can see certain of you out in the audience got the old shoulders on the go now, because this is what this music does to you. Melodically, the music had changed as well. Young Dizzy Gillespie had come along, and he was taking all the old standards and writing new, fragmented melodies over them, which are impossibly groovy. And so we can now hear Dizzy Gillespie's famous reworking of the old parlour song Whispering, which is where we started. This is a composition by Dizzy called Groovin' High with the bebop rhythm section. We hope you've enjoyed the explanation, and please enjoy the modern jazz. Thank you. Here we go. 1, 2.